The headlines: 8 killed as bandits raid Lamba community in Katsina State. Senate confirms Cardoso, Yuguda and 10 others as MPC members. Court orders NPC to release detailed spending on aborted census. And on the international scene, ordeal of Rafah residents continue as Israel intensifies attack. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and the details will start with security. At least 8 persons were killed after bandits attacked Lamba community in Kurfi local government area of Katsina State. Now, despite the ongoing efforts of the state government to address the issue of insecurity within the state, this recent incident highlights the urgent need for further action and intervention. Trust TV's Jamil Mabai reports.
Lamba village, a once peaceful community, now bears the scars of a brutal attack. Bandits stormed the village, leaving a trail of devastation and shattering hopes of affected families. But beyond the statistics lie individual stories of pain and resilience. Samai Ilagiwa clutches what is left of his life, his gun, after narrowly escaping bandits' attack on his community. Others weren't just that lucky.
After I parked my bike, I came out and 2 bandits chased me. We exchanged fire before I escaped, but my colleague was killed there and then.
8 lives lost, 8 families shattered. Abdul's father was one of the 8 people that were killed.
Not up to 30 minutes after I left my dad, I felt really bad when I came back and saw him with blood all over his bed. When I came back and saw him with blood all over his bed.
While some villagers mourn, others sought refuge in graveyards, a place of eternal rest, hoping that the bandits' attack would pass someday soon. Lamba is not alone. In less than a month, the attacks have left a co-commandant dead in Kankara, while 6 others were killed in Faskari. Experts are demanding more from the government.
This community watch as voluntary organization as the vigilantes. They're not employed by government fully, unlike the police or the army or the civil defense or anybody. They're just a voluntary outfit. And mind you, these people, they have to earn their living, because from what we understand, they're not fully paid by the government. They're only being supplemented. So one has to go and search for his, especially within, the life it is now. So I'm not surprised that the community watch can do very little. See, they can only perhaps, respond if an attack is in the location where they happen to be there. But they cannot be everywhere. You see, and the bandits outpower them. The government should try and see if it can expand these operational activities, whereby they make a joint operation of the community watch, the vigilantes, the police, the civil defense, and any other, agency that could come and probably be stationed in a very strategic location, maybe along Dusama or Safana, or even the Rugu area, whereby
the bandits set fire to houses, food stores, shops, and even livestock that were once a source of livelihood for many. The Katsina state government and the Nigerian police are yet to release any statement on the attack. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV, Katsina.
Troops of the Nigerian army have neutralized a notorious bandit and insurgent, Boederi Isiaku, and some of his fighters after a gun duel around the Bada, Riawa general areas of Chikun and Igabi local government areas. Boederi, as he was simply known, had for nearly a decade propagated a reign of fear, death, and destruction in Kaduna State and neighboring Niger State, with a trademark of brutal attacks, mass abductions, and cruel, relentless killing. The Kaduna State government, while confirming the fall of Boederi in a state by the Overseeing Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, said his elimination comes as the culmination of tireless efforts by dedicated troops committed to restoring peace and security in the region. Aruan said two of the Boederi's associates were also neutralized in the operation, while troops recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 300 rounds of ammunition, 9 AK-47 magazines, 1 magazine carrier, 1 Bofeng radio set, and 5 motorcycles. He said the elimination of Boederi Isiaku as a notable milestone in the ongoing fight against terrorism and banditry demonstrates the effectiveness of determined and coordinated efforts by security forces in confronting those who seek to spread fear and chaos. Boederi, known for his ruthlessness and cunning, had long eluded the grasp of security forces while orchestrating the kidnapping of prominent figures, innocent civilians, school children, and students with impunity. The Rivers State Police Command says a police inspector has been killed after gunmen ambushed and attacked its men on a stop-and-search duty at the Eliozo flyover in Obio, Akpo local government area of the state. The spokesperson of the command, Grace Irenge Koko, who disclosed this in a statement issued on Thursday, said the incident happened on Wednesday night. Irenge Koko said the gunmen, who were spotted in a carton-colored Sienna bus with fully tinted glasses, drove in from the Rumo-Dumaya axis near Port Harcourt, where they launched the offensive, which claimed the officer's life. She, however, said the team rose to the occasion and returned fire and neutralized one of the miscreants who wore masks, adding, however, that other gang members escaped by the whiskers. "11 suspects, including a 32-year-old woman, have been paraded by the Nigerian police force in Delta State for alleged involvement in drug dealings. Parading the suspects in Asaba, the Commissioner of Police Delta Command, Abaniwanda Olufemi, declared war against the sale and use of illicit drugs in the state. He noted that the use of these illicit drugs has a strong connection to the high rate of crime in the society. He said some of the drugs recovered include tramadol, codeine, and other hard drugs. All right, away from the insecurity, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Thursday said his administration would be reducing public servants' work days as part of the plans to cushion the effect of the cost of living crisis in the country. On the rising cost of food, he added that his administration would open more markets where Lagosians can buy food items at discounted rates. The governor said his administration was also constructing 4 food hubs to ensure food distribution to tackle rising food prices. He added that the 25% reduction on transport services will start this weekend for the state's public transport system. Sanwo-Olu further announced a free delivery for pregnant residents across all government-owned hospitals in Lagos, adding that some drugs and other pharmaceutical products will be subsidized at the state government hospital. The governor noted that his administration was also in discussions with various transport unions to reduce their fares. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has warned against advocating for a coup due to the prevailing economic hardship in the country. He has also emphasized patience and superiority of democracy over military rule. He made this known on Thursday while speaking with journalists at the Nigerian Army's 6th Division headquarters in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, after commissioning some building projects. General Musa urged individuals promoting military takeover to withdraw such statements. Protests have occurred in Ogun, Oyo, Kano, Niger, and some parts of the country in the last few weeks over the hardship experienced in the country as Nigerians lament food inflation, high cost of living, amongst other harsh living conditions occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy, forex crisis, amongst others. The Nigerian's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has appealed to the authority of heads of state and government of the Economic Community of West African States, the ECOWAS, to reunite Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which have indicated interest to quit the regional bloc. Gowon, who was among the founding fathers of ECOWAS, stated that this after visiting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. The report.
The former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, while speaking with State House correspondents at the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday, said the meeting with the president centered on the challenges facing the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He said the current disagreement among member states must be settled amicably. The former Nigerian military leader debunked claims on social media that he refused to attend an event organized by ECOWAS.
The issue of the ECOWAS problem at the moment, which I think need to be resolved. And being the surviving leader or founding fathers of the ECOWAS, I think we had to discuss some of his plan in order to see what can be done to bring the matter under control.
Gowon also urged Nigerians to give more time to the President Bola Tinubu-led administration towards resolving the various challenges confronting the country. He added that it is too early in the lives of this government to begin to resolve all the inherited crises in different sectors.
We've got to, Nigerians have to give the president time to get things really done, and it is too early to sort of say yes, that absolute result, perfect result would be achieved.
Nigerians are currently grappling with high cost of living caused majorly by fuel subsidy removal and exchange rates unification.
Justice Nyang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the National Population Commission, the NPC, to release details of spending on the aborted 2023 population census to an Abuja-based lawyer, Opatola Victor, within 7 days. Justice Eko issued the order while delivering judgment in a suit instituted against the commission. The judge declared that the refusal by the NPC to release the information or records of spending on the aborted census as requested by the lawyer on March 30, 2023 was wrongful, illegal, and unconstitutional. While invoking Section 4 of the Freedom of Information Act, Justice Eko held that the refusal of the Commission to provide a plaintiff with information on the companies that provided due diligence report on the technology to be deployed for the ill-fated census has a gross violation of the rights of the plaintiff as enshrined in Section 4 of the FOI Act. The court, however, refused to grant 500,000 naira in favor of the plaintiff as he requested in the suit. In the judgment, the judge granted an order of mandamus compelling the NPC, its servants, agents, privies, and officials to furnish the lawyer with comprehensive and detailed information concerning the quality test assurance report on the devices and technology to be deployed for the postponed 2023 population census. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, has been declared winner in an Edo People's Democratic Party parallel primaries election that happened. On Thursday's declaration happened at a location different from the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium venue of the main PDP primary election. Earlier in the day before the declaration, a group of protesters who claimed to be delegates alleged that they were denied accreditation at the main venue and subsequently took their protest to Shaibu's residence. The protesting delegates thereafter moved to another location where they reportedly held a parallel election and declared Shaibu the winner. Meanwhile, as at press time, voting was still ongoing at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium in Benin City to elect the PDP candidate for the September 2024 election. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, Katsina community groan over water scarcity. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
The present Kanuri people of Borno, descendants of the Saif ibn Diyazan from Yemen.
Kanuri is an Arabic word. They said Asluhum Kanuri. Originally, they are like the light.
People living in this area were not only the Kanuri, there were Kanumbus and other tribes, the Tubu. And even among the Kanuri, there were different dialects.
The Kanuris acquired a unique affinity for fine scents from the Arabs. They are renowned for their perfumery skills across northern Nigeria.
Kang into hula ya hana mu karatu. Wanda mun bar into hula mun je wajen karatu.
The Kanuris have remained resilient and resolute in their resolve to preserve the legacies of their ancestors through food, art, religion, and commerce.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you 8 killed as bandits raid Lamba community in Katsina State. And Senate confirms Cardoso, Yuguda, 10 others as MPC members. Moving on to more stories, health workers in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, have advocated the use of protective gears against the scorching sun and dust in order to reduce the effects by surging heat waves. Now, they also called for adequate water intake to avoid dehydration. The call follows the recent heat wave that has made managing the dry season a little more challenging than usual. The report.
Throughout Nigeria, there's been a surge in complaints about excessive heat attributed to shifts in weather patterns. Consequently, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency and other health organizations have issued advisories urging precautionary measures among members of the public. However, for street hawkers in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital, the challenge is particularly acute as they must endure selling their wares under the relentless scorching sun as temperatures rise to 39 degrees.
Ply my trade under the sun with the help of a wheelbarrow because I don't have a shop. Secondly, shop owners don't want us to stay in their premises on the basis that we cover the view of the shops. So we have nothing to do but to keep moving under the sun. I drink a lot of water to help me stay hydrated. We are facing different challenges due to the hot weather. Although it is uncomfortable, we have nothing to do than to thank God.
The intense heat wave has resulted in health implications for some individuals, leading to various health challenges.
Actually, the weather has affected so many people. I'm even one of the victims because since the last Harmattan, the Harmattan that started, I think I suffered from this cough and catarrh, And since then, it hardly goes, even all upon the treatment you take.
It's not only here in our country, Nigeria, it's all over Africa, what we have noticed. When you drink water, just about some 10 minutes, you still feel thirsty. And you have to take too much water, because if you don't take too much water, you will not be in good health.
Because of the weather, you know, like this Harmattan, you see dry truck. The truck will be dry, so by taking much water, excess water, then will help the body to function very well as is expected.
Health practitioner Caleb Agada recommends that residents increase their water intake and utilize protective gear to shield themselves from the sun and dust.
And a lot of times you find dehydration, and that tends to be a major issue, and this can cause a lot of other things. It can lead to heat stroke. This can also lead to renal damages, renal impairments. So it is advisable that in periods like this, drink lots of water, drink adequate water. It is advisable because this will help to protect one's kidney and also help to improve one's health.
Despite the challenges posed by the situation, many remain hopeful that improvements will occur in the near future, despite projections showing a steady rise in temperatures in the coming weeks.
Residents of Matazu local government area of Katsina State are groaning acute water shortage following abandonment of semi-urban water supply scheme, which will provide water and public and animals consumption to the area. The water scheme, initiated by Katsina State government in 1994, was faulty by the last few years, throwing residents into serious water scarcity. Abdullah Yamadi visited Matazu town recently, and he tells us more in this report.
This development has left Matazu residents struggling daily to get water for their consumption and other domestic purposes, a situation that inflicted too much pains and hardship on the people. Residents were seen moving from one point to another in search of water, forcing many to patronize local water vendors, though not very healthy for consumption. Because of the water shortage, residents have to wake up early in the morning to fetch water at some private residences, or in the alternative, buy it from the vendors at exorbitant rates. This water supply scheme was faulty for quite a long time now, and residents are seriously suffering. Kindly let the government come to our aid. The state government, we know, is doing its best, and it has been doing a lot to make us happy, but we need more. Some residents said the Matazu semi-urban water supply scheme, which had about 13 functional boreholes in the past, with underground and overhead tanks used to supply water to over 10,000 residents, who are now at the mercy of vendors.
Because as at now, we can pump the water using the electricity, which has its own negative impact on the system, because it's not quite reliable. The electricity is epileptic, and when there is a little situation, you find out there was so many damages in the electrical system. So as such, it needs to be upgraded to a modern system, and a bigger generator with much higher capacity to form all the boreholes at a time is required.
However, Katsina State government, through the Small Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Department, said such projects are expected for upgrade and rehabilitation soon.
Now, the 2024 budget has captured the Matazu project and the Namusa and Entumaki, which are already ongoing. And also, the SAWS program has identified all the existing 44 water supply scheme under the small town for total upgrade, rehabilitation, and the conversion to solar. So I'm sure this project will also fall in under those two categories.
Residents are hopeful that despite all the challenges they are facing in sourcing water at the moment, one day it will be history, expressing confidence in the Dikko Umaru Ratna's administration, which they described as focused and people's oriented. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
From the international scene, people in the Rafah area of the Gaza Strip were clearing through rubble and debris on Thursday after Israeli jets struck 7 locations in the southern border town. A mosque and a residential building were hit, killing 4 people. Some 1.5 million Gazans are crammed into the area, most of them displaced from other parts of the enclave due to the ongoing war. Many buildings were damaged in the crowded Shabor refugee camp. The mosque they hit destroyed the entire neighborhood, said El Marwa Abu Musa, a local in the area, as she declared or cleared the debris in her home. Now, mourners gathered by bodies and wept in front of the Abu Yusuf al-Najjar hospital as they waited for the bodies to be buried. The war began when Hamas-led militants stormed into southern Israel on October 7th, killing some 1,200 people and taking around 250 hostage. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.